everyone! Today I want to start talking about the people you need in your circle of influence if you really want to boost your career. Look, I don't really care how great you are at your job. I get it. If you are watching these videos, probably you think you are really good at what you do and you want to boost your career further. Even if you are fantastic, the reality is that nobody achieves everything by themselves. And so it's super important that you focus some of your attention to surrounding yourself with the right people to really enhance your career growth. I will talk about this in a few videos, but today I want to focus on one type of person specifically, and I want to talk about mentors. A lot of organizations are really good at having mentorship programs, either for their junior employees or for what they are considering high potential employees. And so they typically assign to them someone that is higher in the ranks to kind of advise and tell them how to deal with situations and act sort of like a sounding board when maybe these employees get stuck or don't know how to navigate the situation they are in. Look, I'll be honest. I've always had a mentor over the course of my corporate career. I have been for decades one. So please don't misunderstand. I appreciate people wanting to have a mentor, and I also want to recognize all the mentors out there that dedicate their time and their expertise to help someone else. But here is my reflection point and something I want to share with you today. The world is spinning faster and faster. Companies are transforming and reinventing themselves and changing their priorities at a speed that I have never seen before, honestly. And so I was reflecting upon this and I want to ask you this question. How true is it that what a person ahead of you has done in the past is still gonna work for you? Now, don't take me wrong. There are certain principles of how organization works and how people behave that are absolutely withstanding the test of time. That's what I talk to you about in the videos, right? But the concept of mentorship is really rooted in the idea that, hey, I've already walked this path, so let me tell you how I walked it so that you can kind of repeat these exact same steps. Little problem. If you put your steps exactly in the same position as before, but the path has changed and the terrain has changed, are you really sure that you're not going to slip or, break an ankle on the way? That's the question that I have and I want to share with you. So I am coming to realize that the speed at which our world is spinning, it's getting faster and faster, and it made me question a little bit how effective mentorship is. Okay, so what's my solution to that? This is where I think you can be so much smarter and ahead of the curve. Transform those mentorships into sponsorships. Those are two very different relationships. And so while a mentor has really no self-interest in helping you out, and they can act as a sounding board, and they can be also the people sometimes that you vent to if something is not going your way, a sponsor is someone that stick their neck out for you, especially in those rooms where you're not invited. The rooms where they talk about promotion, the rooms where they talk about who are the next big bets for the company, the outstanding leaders, and all of that. Okay. So that's actually something that I have done, I want to say, with all of my mentors. I tried at least to transform them in sponsor. It's not necessarily true that you will succeed 100% of the time, but it is absolutely possible. I want to say maybe 95% of the time. Now, though, this is what needs to be true in order to have this transformation of the relationship between mentoring to sponsoring. First of all, the mentor cannot be someone very far removed from your position in the organization. They can, if you are in, I don't know, in engineering, I don't know that they can be in procurement or they cannot be in sales, because they need to have the possibility to be in the same circles where certain discussion happen. And so if you're part of a certain department, it will be hard to have someone advocating for you. Depending on where you are in the organization, at which level, it might change. But ultimately, you want someone that is not in your direct hierarchy line. There are even rules that prohibits your direct boss or the manager once removed to be your mentor. But you want someone that is maybe a peer of your boss, something like that, or maybe a peer of your boss's boss, something of that sort. Okay, so they need to be close enough to be part of those discussions, and they need to be close enough for them to have a stake in the work you do. Because bottom line, this is the difference between a mentor and a sponsor. A mentor has no stake in the relationship. They do it out of, let me say, courtesy, and because they want to give back and because they enjoy talking with younger employees and all that. A sponsor absolutely has a stake in the relationship. If you do good, they want to be in a position in which they say, oh, this person has done good, and they can take advantage of the fact that you have done something good, right? So they need to be close for them to have a stake in your work, okay? The other things that needs to be true, or as I was saying, very, very important, is they have a stake in your work. So they need to be able to see that what you have done has bring them the advantage for them. When that happens, it's a win-win relationship. So you give them something and they give you something in return. Speak highly of you in those rooms where you are not invited. So it's a give and take relationship versus, honestly, a mentor gives and you just take from them. Okay? Now, to even move one step further, in order to really transform a relationship into sponsorship, it would be so smart if you can pick a mentor that you are planning to transform into a sponsor, and that person, you see that person being potentially your future boss. Now think about it. They think highly of you. You have given them success that they can brag about. Heck, they are gonna want you on their teams, right? So as soon as the opportunity arises, they will be the one pulling you. And guess what? You want a job that you want, right? So if they are in a position where they can really become your future boss because you want to work in that department, in that unit, and something like that, I would say when HR, for example, calls you and, hey, we would like to assign you a mentor, they will ask you, do you have someone in mind? Have a name or a couple in mind, depending where you want to go in your career. That's the person you want to pick as your mentor. And again, transform the relationship into a sponsorship so that that relationship becomes so effective at boosting your career, because it's from that relationship that you might end up having your next role. So once again, absolutely, mentors are great. Thank you to all the mentors out there. You are so important for everyone following your steps. But as I realize that the world is spinning faster and faster, I'm realizing that there is a need to transform mentoring relationship in something more powerful. And my suggestion for all of you out there is transform it into a sponsorship. With that said, I'm Simona Pappalardo. I help overworked and overwhelmed managers become authentic and confident leaders who create success for themselves, for their teams, and their organization at large. Do not forget to click subscribe. I would love you to join my YouTube channel. And with that said, I'll talk to you next week. Bye.